Morning, everyone. How are we doing today? So, as we sit here Sunday morning, getting ready to go into another interesting week here in the Silicon Valley, more and more companies are we requiring folks to work from home. We obviously have San Francisco declaring a state of emergency. I just heard LA did the same thing, and we have enough. We have some cases popping off in Santa Clara County, which is where I reside. So this thing seems to be gaining a foothold, and I think the Silicon Valley is gonna feel the brunt of this thing. So I thought I would talk today about what I would do or what I am doing to get prepared for what might be a global recession. If you watched last week, Anna Kelly and I debated whether or not we would go into a recession. She indicated that she was on the likely side, and I played the other. Really, the reason I played the other side last week was a recession is really, it has to be two negative GDP growths quarter after quarter. And maybe it's my hope, maybe it's my belief, but I don't see the U.S. even currently posting two negative quarters. Q1's almost over. I'm going to assume March is terrible, nasty, ugly, whatever you want to call it. But my hope is January and February were strong enough to make the growth still positive. I don't think there's any choice, but Q2 is going to be negative. It's going to be bad. And it's going to be bad. Kind of repeat that. Then we have Q3. Q3 is the one where maybe I'm being unrealistic or hopeful. I'm hoping for a shallow and short negative growth, Q2 being bad. I'm hoping we're coming out of this. I'm hoping it's the summer months. I'm hoping this thing slows down and dies. I hope a vaccine's created. All these hopes. I realize hope is not a strategy. I get it. But that's my belief and why I took that side. Could Q2 and Q3 be negative? Absolutely. No question. I think Q4 will be a snapback, and either Q4 or Q1 will just be a monster, probably 4% as we kind of kickstart this engine. So I've been thinking lots of different parts of the economy, the world economy, are flashing global recession signs. So I thought I would step back and say, okay, what are they? And what would I do? What would I hope others do if a global recession is on the horizon? First off, the 10-year note. I've talked about it 4 or 5 times now. It freaked me out when it was below 1. Freaked me out even more below 0.9. And I think I just saw it this morning at 0.68. I mean, that's awful close to zero, if you know what I mean. And there's talk about the Fed doing more rate cuts middle of, is it this week? Might be next week. But they're meeting again and they're talking about some more rate cuts. Yeah, it's next week. I think it's the 17th and 18th. So pretty crazy. And then something else I saw today is oil, right? Oil fell 10%. I think we talked about it Friday. Apparently, Saudi Arabia or somebody's going to basically break the OPEC agreement and just up production. People are now calling for $20 oil, which is something I wasn't sure I would ever see, right? I would have guessed $100 oil before $20 oil. So if that's true, that just shows you the lack of demand. But in reality, let's not forget that this even if we do have a recession, Q2, Q3, even if it goes to Q4, this too will pass. The American economy, the American consumer, the world economy is very strong and robust. We will get through it, but there will be pain. There will be companies that don't make it. They were either levered up or had supply, single-threaded supply chains that broke and their business broke. This is why folks like Warren Buffett are made fun of at the peak by people that just don't know, and why Warren Buffett is a genius, why Sam Zell is a genius. If you don't know who Sam Zell is, check him out, Zell. These folks build large cash reserves. People make fun of them. Then something happens and they look like a genius. If there's any question Look at what Warren Buffett got from Goldman Sachs during the financial crisis. I suspect Warren will make deals like that or better this time. I actually think Warren Buffett's going to buy an airline, right? If you check out his top 10 holdings, I think he's got two. I think he's got United and Delta. Uh, and if you read the news about airlines, they are just struggling. One of them is going to need a lifeline. And if it doesn't come from the federal government, which it could, I believe Buffett's going to own an airline in the next 12 to 18 months, which is crazy because I don't really look at airlines and think Warren Buffett. Aren't they like big losers all the time? I don't know. Whatever. He's smarter than me, so what do I know? So in the end, let's get to the topic at hand, how to prepare for an upcoming expected global recession. I think there's a couple of things you need to do. First and foremost is you don't rush, right? If you're like me and you have some cash in the bank that you've been waiting for an opportunity, don't rush. You need to make sure where this thing is going. Is it shallow and short? Is it deep and long? Don't be in a rush. Don't spend it all in the first month. Realize what's coming. Adjust. If you follow what I teach, good, bad, average, good, great. Maybe for the next couple of months, only look at great deals, right? And again, you're supposed to know what good or great is in your market. Maybe as we head into a global recession, only do great deals or only make offers that make the deal great. So offer less than asking. So first thing is don't rush. Second thing is, I think if you have a job, right, a W-2, I think you need to ask yourself some hard questions. Are you in a job that could survive a 6-month, 1 year kind of recession? What would happen if your company's revenue dropped 30%? Where would they cut? Is there a new product line that could be an issue? Are you part of an acquisition target and your job will be redundant, right? Look yourself in the mirror now so you don't have to do it later, and try to get yourself positioned in a spot that is required. I think there will be headcount reductions in this. There will certainly be furloughs. There are parts of the economy that are frankly not working. Hotels, airlines, cruise lines. The capacity, infrastructure, and overhead is at X, but now demand is at Y. They can't carry it. I go back to what we read about the Tillerman, I think his name is. He owns the Houston Rockets and basically built his fortune in restaurants, losing $1 million a day. He won't do that forever. He will eventually cut servers and headcount and chefs and dishwashers. It'll happen. He'll cut them. I mean, you can't, no matter, a billionaire losing $1 million a day, that's going to become irritating pretty quickly. So again, he might lose some restaurants. I have no idea what his debt structure is, but there will be businesses that appear strong and solid that will have no oxygen, aka no cash, and be sold for pennies on the dollar. So make sure you're in a position where your job is safe, because if you're in an industry that there's not as much demand, think retail, be careful. This is why I talked yesterday about multifamily investors. You need to check yourself because sure, stock market investors felt the brunt of this first, right? 4,000 point drop in 1 week. But you could feel the pain if your tenants don't have paychecks. I've lived in that environment, invested in that environment. It's no fun. Next, I think you need to increase your cash position. I don't know to what extent, if you feel comfortable with $2,000, maybe have $3. If you feel comfortable with $5, maybe have $7. Everybody has their own comfort level, but maybe have just a little bit more. What would happen, for example, if your area was quarantined for 2 weeks? I mean, they've just quarantined a quarter of Italy. So this could get weird. If you're in the Silicon Valley, other than Seattle, I think we're gonna feel it here. I think it's coming. So be careful, right? Make sure you have a little bit more cash. To that extent, I think the first thing everybody should do is take this opportunity to cut expenses. I talk about needs and wants all the time. Most folks blow that part of my conversation off. It doesn't feel good. You can handle it, all of these things. But you know what? We're going into an uncertain time. why don't you try to slash monthly committed expenses by $200, $300? I mean, whatever it is for you. Let's lower some expenses for the next until July, right? Let's let's just be more prudent with our cash reserves, because as that report from, I think it was Sequoia, talked about, is um, cash reserves will fall faster than your expenses do. So don't get caught in a cash crunch, because that's what's going to hurt companies, and that's what's going to hurt individuals. Individuals are could get caught selling at the wrong time, right? If you need cash for something and all you have is your RSU stock, and your stock's down 50%, but you need the cash that bad, you're going to sell, right? It doesn't matter what the price is, right? That's pretty liquid cash you can go get. So do yourself a favor, cut expenses. Okay, that's enough conservation and checking yourself. Now let's figure out how we take advantage of what's coming. Let's assume the duration is 6 to 9 months, so we know the window of time. We know what will happen. There will be individuals and stocks, right, that are punished, that will ultimately survive, right? Again, if we can survive 9/11, if we can survive the global financial crisis, we're going to survive a virus. So get ready to go shopping. You've got to learn your market. Very welcome. You've got to learn your market. You've got to get ready. So start creating a shopping list. But remember, number one, don't be in a rush. This is going to take a while. But look for things that you think will survive. At some point, airlines and cruise lines, for example, will be buys. I don't think they are today, but realize I haven't even checked their stock, so I have no idea. But at some point, will cruise lines be a thing? Yeah, I mean, cruising is fun. I've done 15 or 20 of them. It's awesome. Would I be on one today? No freaking way. Those things are basically tin cans with lots of hard surfaces that hold the virus. Thing is, no chance. You couldn't pay me to get on a cruise ship today. But maybe in July or August, maybe, right? So I actually think there'll probably be less cruise lines in 6 months, because they're pretty. They take a lot of cash to run, right? And if they're half full, not good. So again, get ready to go shopping. Same thing's going to happen in real estate. There'll be a lot less listings, because who would want to sell their home now if they don't have to? But life events mean real estate will still be transaction. There'll be, unfortunately, passings of individuals. There'll be divorces, job moves. There'll be people that over leveraged, right? They bought a home that was just out of reach, and the wife or the husband lost their job and they can't afford it. There'll be plenty of pre-foreclosures. So there's going to be an opportunity. So go shopping, learn your market. Like I told you yesterday, what you should be doing in March is learning your market. You shouldn't do if you're doing real estate, buy and hold, like one rental at a time, take it from me. March is about learning your market, right? This whole virus is slowing down travel and things. You need something to do. You need to go. Yeah, it could be for the debt bubble for sure. Yeah, so learn your market, get ready. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the links below to the course, it's the best thing I've created. But learn your market, understand what a bad, average, good, and great is, and maybe go shopping in, what is it, March, maybe May, April, May, June. There'll be a deal there for you. That much I know, because not only is people not going to buy, but I promise you, everybody will be afraid. Everybody will be afraid. This will be just like 2010. There were deals in the MLS screaming, any offer accepted, big bold letters. It was like finding diamonds on the ground. It was, do you want a 2 carat or a 3 carat? I see that happening. But if you don't do the work, you're going to be scared too. The course is about building confidence. If you do the work and you know that, hey, average in my market is 6%, and we fast forward and it's May, and suddenly you're finding 9 and 10% deals, you're going to feel good about that. But you can only feel good about that if you do the work. Do the work, okay? And again, the last one really is, let's just buy great deals, right? Earlier in lots of my conversations is you buy good or great. It worked for me very, very well. Yeah, Yeah, 2010 went to near zero, right? It was 0 to 0.25, right? It was the Fed went that low. So it's going to happen again. And the question is this short and shallow? Is it long and deep? Is it a W type recession? And this is the down leg. I mean, it doesn't matter. You as an individual need to do what you need to do to protect your family. Protect first, conserve, be ready, but take advantage. That's what most investors talk about all the time. Oh, I wish, I wish, I wish. Well, I'm here to tell you that with pretty good confidence, we're going to have a small window of time this year where if you want, you can buy a great deal, but you've got to do the homework now. You don't wait until May to do your homework because you will be scared like everybody else. That's what I think. So, in the end, I think this week's going to be choppy. I'm still waiting for the massive technology companies to cut earnings. Again, I used to be in the sales arena, and sales is revenue. And there are lots and lots and lots of salespeople talking to me, going, "Wow, this is not a good time for my pipeline." Um, yep, this is going to be interesting. So I expect revenue to be cut, earnings estimates to be maybe withdrawn, if not fall out reduced. But again, this will pass. Don't freak out. Right? Remember step 1 and 2, right? Get ready for it. Make sure your job is safe. Make sure you're not going to be impacted. Because again, if you lose your job, then it's different. But once you get that set, do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. Get ready, get ready, get ready. And then strike, because this will pass too. So in the end, that's what I got for you today. I am planning to do a couple of more videos. I got to do my goals video for you because it's Sunday, right? Every Sunday I share with you how I'm doing. How are you doing on your goals? And second, I want to talk about the hub, what we're doing out there. People keep asking me what my vision is for that, so I'll probably do that video as well. Other than that, you have a wonderful Sunday, and I'm looking forward to this week. Take care. Bye.